Eins, zwei, drei. I do not think we bought enough body bags.
Hello again, everyone! I'm RPG and... Holy shit, I have new stills! Anyway, welcome to another episode of Project Erolenis. Today I'll be showcasing some new native Fakemon, new regional variants, as well as a few locations I've come up with. Although I prioritized the completion of the Erblin Pokédex, I did come up with some other elements for the region such as areas, gyms, and so on. But we've got a long video to cover, so let's get things started. The first area I'll be talking about sits atop of a hill located in one of the longer routes in Erblin. There are many rumors and mysteries surrounding this area, however one thing that's certain is that it is filled with ghost-type Pokemon. Welcome to Harwell Castle. Harwell Castle is my equivalent to the Scary House in Kalos and Lavender Tower in Kanto, and what better real-world location to base a ghost-type haven off of than Frankenstein Castle. When you first arrive, you'll find yourself in the outer portion of the area. It'll take a bit to get to the castle itself, but you can find items and wild Pokemon here along the ruins. Common Pokemon found here are Hamadtot, Dwebble, Meowth, and Abra. The latter two seem to be fond of the rocks scattered along the path, and like to practice using magic with them. Dwebble have also been seen using these rocks for protection. Additionally, there's a pond nearby in which you can have a 5% chance of fishing in Erblin and Chinchou. This is also the first area that you can find them in Erblin. And after a few minutes of climbing and battling Pokemon, you reach the top of the hill and enter Harwell Castle. Inside the castle walls, the area is dark and mysterious. You do see bits of old furniture and paintings as you walk around and hear the faint cries of ghostly figures. Meowth and Abra can be found inside the castle as well as outside, along with Mischievous and a new Pokemon native to Erblin. I happen to have a time-lapse of it prepared, so let's see what this Pokemon is. Jigglyph, the Rune Pokemon, a rock psychic type. Highly intelligent and curious, Jigglyph are known to solve complex puzzles and plan strategies accordingly. They are often seen in large swarms, coming together in structural formations to defend themselves. As you can see, Jigglyph is based on a puzzle piece, but it also gets inspiration from Germanic runes. We technically already have a rune Pokemon in the form of Runerigus, however I came up with an idea for a rune Pokemon before that was even a thing. This idea was going to be the pseudo-legendary of the region before plans fell through. However, I still kept the idea in mind when coming up with another rock type for Erblin. Aside from future entries, the only rock type family I have is Gen Titan, so adding in a new rock line was ideal. Now let's get back to exploring, as Jigglyph's evolution requires us to venture further into the castle. You start to come across a few doors that lead into different rooms. These rooms don't really have a lot to offer, but you can find items like potions, ethers, and so on in here. You can also find the TM for Embargo in one of these rooms, as well as a hidden Reaper Cloth, which is necessary for evolving Dusclops into Dusk Noir. You then find a set of stairs that will take you to the second floor. A lot of the same things can be found here, but right in front of you, there's a large boulder blocking one of the room doors. This is where you'd normally use the Strength HM. However, the way that HMs work are a bit different in my games. Here they're called Field Techniques, and are more similar to the secret techniques in Let's Go. You'll need to teach one of your Pokemon the Brute Force technique in order to move the boulder out of the way, and then you'll be able to access the room behind it. In this room, there are rocks everywhere, as well as a few books lying around. To your left is a peculiar-looking stone tablet. This tablet seems to emit an eerie glow when you come close to it. The Jigglyph here seemed to be interested in it though. Wait. Is one of them glowing? Well, that can mean only one thing. Tripuzzle, the Rune Pokemon, a rock psychic type, and the evolved form of Jigglyph. When three of their kind are exposed to an ancient stone, they join together and form Tripuzzle. Researchers say that their family have lived in Erblin since ancient times, and were used to write messages in code. Yeah, it's another one of those evolutions. You know, the ones that just slap together multiples of their pre-evolution? Yeah, that sort of design. The thing is, though, this kind of evolution makes sense for a jigsaw puzzle Pokemon, so I'm completely okay with it. I also didn't want to just make its evolution purely level-based, so that's why I created the Ancient Tablet. Jigglyph evolves into Tripuzzle after leveling up once while near this tablet, and to keep the puzzle theme rolling, you'll also need 2 other Jigglyph in your party. I imagine a lot of people will be annoyed by this thing, but as dumb as it looks, everything about it makes sense. Puzzles will often test someone's ingenuity or knowledge, which justifies its psychic typing. Going back to the tablet for a second, this isn't the only Pokemon that can evolve while near it. Galarian Yamask can also use this tablet to evolve. The location definitely makes more sense than a random rock formation. There is another Pokemon that evolves using this tablet, but that's another episode. And unfortunately, once you leave this room, there isn't much else to Hartwell Castle. There are a few more items in here like the Dusk Stone that you can pick up, but other than that, we're pretty much done here. We can now move on to the next area, which is actually the route you take on the way to an upcoming city. The castle just so happens to overlook this area. Along this path are a mixture of new and old Pokemon. Here you'll find Hamatot and Kapoof roaming around, along with a Violet, Swipsel, and another new Fakemon called Cotspot. You might have noticed that Swipsel looks much different here. That's because I redesigned it in my most recent Fakemon time-lapse video, which I highly recommend you watch for more details. In addition to that, this is the first route where you can catch the Ovila family, and marks the debut of this little fellow. Cotspot is based on a cotton ball, but also has medical influences that is shared with its evolutions, Hospiton and Medicine. Puns. This line acts as Erblin's Chansey equivalent and can be seen in every Pokemon Center. They're all pure normal type with Fluffy and Natural Cure for their main abilities. There isn't much else I can say about these three. They're cute and helpful to the region, and I enjoy the pun and nurse elements on medicine. Moving swiftly along the path filled with trainers, we find them all and reach the 4th city in Erblin, Stadius City. Stadius City is modeled after Darmstadt, the 4th largest city in Germany. The city is known for having various universities and institutions. As such, Stadius is home to a trainer school and a well-known research facility. There's also a shopping district here in which you can find the Pokemart as well as a clothing store. And most notably for today, there's a restaurant and a salon across from each other. These two stores have NPCs hanging out in them that will give you an item necessary to evolve 2 new regional variants. Before we get to them though, I want to get this out of the way. These two are version exclusives, and it would be really dumb of me if I didn't talk about what these versions are. The names of my hypothetical games are Pokemon Chrome and Pokemon Obsidian. These were the titles I used 3 years ago, and like everything else, they've been carried over into the Erblin region. The regional forms in question will be found in an area east of Stadius City, but you can only get one of these in each version. And these regional forms just so happen to come from the Kalos region. Spritzy, Erblin form, the perfume Pokemon, a pure psychic type. This Pokemon emits a fragrance that smells so good, it can put people into a trance. This phenomenon distracts them from what they're doing and allows for Spritzy to escape. Swirlix, Erblin form, the whipped Pokemon, a fairy ground type. Swirlix have adapted to the rougher deserts in Erblin. Its chocolatey appearance was once thought to be a coincidence, but is now believed to be the result of a change in diet. Here are the first version exclusives for the Erblin region. Spritzy is exclusive to Pokemon Obsidian, while Swirlix is exclusive to Pokemon Chrome. Swirlix's design I was all set on, being based on the dessert Black Forest cake. As for Spritzy, I had no fucking idea what I was gonna do for it. I literally spent months trying to come up with a decent design. At first I thought about making it Fairy Poison, but I already have a Fairy Poison regional form. Then I thought about Fairy Fire, but I have a good amount of Fairy and Fire type Pokemon in my region already. So I was really stumped. In the end I chose to make it a Psychic type with a concept akin to a scent-based cartoon gag, as well as sporting a psychedelic color scheme. Does it have anything to do with Germany or the Nordics? No. But I learned very quickly that not everything in the Pokemon region has to share the same basis as it. I find that's a very common trap that people fall into when designing a Fakemon region. Anyway, these two still evolve the same way they do in Kalos, via trading. Only this time, these two need to hold an Erblin Gateau and Vibrant Bottle respectively. Erolenis, Erblin form, the fragrance Pokemon, a pure psychic type, and the evolved form of Spritzy. The alluring scent has caused Erolenis to become the center of attention. This can irritate the Pokemon, especially if it's being ambushed by predators. Slurpuff, Erblin form, the moose Pokemon, a fairy ground type, and the evolved form of Swirlix. Many chefs have a Slurpuff accompanying them as they have an incredible sense of smell and taste. Its muddy coloration serves as the inspiration for a common Erblin dessert. As you can tell, these two still have Aromavale and Sweetvale, but for primary abilities, they get Psychic Terrain and Sand Force respectively. There aren't many changes made aside from this and their looks, but for the first set of version exclusives, I feel they do the job just fine. Like I said, these two will be found in the next big area, but before we go, there's one last thing we need to do in Stadius City. There's another building that's located next to the research facility I mentioned earlier. Through one of the windows, you'll see a bunch of people working with chemistry sets, and there are shelves of bottles along the wall. This looks to be some sort of laboratory. You head inside and look around. Chemists are all over the place, toying around with different liquids it seems. Then, you hear footsteps coming towards you.
Oh, hello there.
Welcome to our lab. We don't usually get visitors here. Only those we collaborate with come in to bounce off ideas for new perfumes. The woman looks down and finds a token in your possession. You're a Pokemon trainer! That token is a sure sign of it. I bet my sister gave that to you when you arrived. She's such a sweetheart, if not a little annoying. Oh, but I imagine you're looking for a gym battle. I'm more than happy to accept, though I should go clean up the arena first. My last battle was intense, and I'm a bit of a clean freak. The woman walks away, and suddenly, everything about this place becomes clear. She is the gym leader, and this lab is her gym. One of her assistants comes up to you and shows you the entrance to the arena. You plan accordingly before opening it, and suddenly you are met with fog. Scented fog. While this gym was created first, it's technically third in order, so the layout is a bit more fancy. Or in this case, foggy. The goal is to find fog machines shaped like perfume bottles and turn them off in order to proceed. All while battling trainers, of course. I'll probably include some sort of indicator telling you where to go so that people don't get too lost in the fog, but as of this video, I haven't confirmed what that is. Regardless, you make it through to the end and meet up with the same woman from the lab. Impressive! You managed to fight through all that fog. I hope it didn't cloud your will as much as it did your eyes and nose. I had that happen one time. Oh, goodness, where are my manners? I had nearly forgotten to introduce myself. I am Viola, the gym leader of Castelia City. My Pokemon and I may enjoy the scent of flowers, but we also have a nose for more unpleasant smells. Every rose has its thorns, and every scent has an odor. Don't believe me? Allow me to demonstrate. Okay, judging by all the scent talk and purple highlights, this looks to be a poison-type gym. We've seen a few psychic-type Pokemon already, so those will be useful against this gym. This Roselia is relatively straightforward. The combo of Toxic and Venoshock might be deadly, but this Pokemon's really more of a warm-up. Think you're up to snuff? Well, this is only the beginning. Go, Skuntank! Oh boy, now we've gone somewhere. Skuntank is immune to Psychic, so Jigglypuff and Kapoof won't help you here, and we haven't run into many Ground-type Pokemon besides the regional forms, so this Skuntank will be more difficult to take down. Now Skuntank is down. Fine, you leave me no choice. Take a whip for this! Go! Bloodshed! Speaking of regional forms, our final Pokemon is the regional evolution for Gloom. Blightshade is a poison fairy type and is more offensively capable than Vileplume. On the flip side, it's pretty frail, so survive a Venoshock or Fairy Wind and you're good to go. I gave it my all, and it wasn't enough. Well done, trainer. You truly have a nose for battling. Very well. I shall award you with the Venom Badge. Defeating Viola will also net you the TM for Venoshock, and grant you the ability to use Brute Force. What, you didn't think I would lock that behind a gym? Come on, this is Pokemon. Anyway, I think now we're done with Castelia City, so wave goodbye to Viola, cause we're headed out to the next route. This sort of foresty route has largely the same Pokemon in it as the previous route, except for Switzel. There's also another new Pokemon here that can be only found at night. There are folk tales in Erblin that tell of a rather mysterious creature, one with large ears, fangs, and claws. This Pokemon has haunted the forests of Erblin for 7 years, so they say, and if you lock eyes with it, there's a chance you will not escape the woods unharmed. This Pokemon is known as Wolpergeist, the ghost tail Pokemon. Wolpergeist is modeled after the Wolpertinger, which is Germany's equivalent to the jackalope. It also has other taxidermy elements in its design, such as the plaque-shaped collar. This Pokemon is a normal ghost type, with the abilities Intimidate, Infiltrator, and the hidden ability Shadow Tag. So if you find a Wolpergeist with its hidden ability and aren't prepared, then you're just screwed. Luck out on catching one of these, however, and it'll be a very powerful ally for this point in the journey. Now that we got that out of the way, let's head on over to our final destination for today, the Senefeld Desert. I call it that, at least. It's a little more like a savanna than a typical desert. This is where you'll be able to catch Swirlix and Spritzy for the very first time in Erblin. Along with those two, you'll be able to find Sanba, Jambolt, Wigworm, and both Stellar and Wolpergeist at night. You might be wondering why Wigworm is blacked out in this list. Well, I'm happy to say that I've officially given it and its evolution a redesign. Roll the footage, Doug! Here's the new Wigworm! It's bug and dragon type now as opposed to being pure bug, and has more dragon elements in its design, which I later realized makes it look like it's almost wearing a costume. It's cute! And it also makes sense given the fact that it's based on an earthworm. Now, what about Devour? What did I do to up the scale of its original design? Let's find out. Now that is a glow up. I am absolutely proud of this new Devourer. It definitely looks more like a dragon than it did previously. This new design took 2 days for me to properly finalize, but it's since become one of my favorite redesigns of this series. Originally, it and Wigworm were planned to be Stone Evolving version exclusives. Since I removed their cold counterparts, as addressed in the intro, I have now made them available in both games, albeit at a 5% encounter rate. They now both have Swarm as a standard ability, along with Rattled, or in Devourum's case, Sheer Force. They also get Moldbreaker as a hidden ability. Oh, and I initially wanted to make their normal colors green like in the time-lapse, but they ended up being the shiny colors instead. And on that note, we are officially done for today. Thank you all for your patience and your support. It really helps the channel grow. Remember to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and be sure to check out my DeviantArt and Twitter for more content and updates. This is RedParagonG, and until next time, keep on rockin', everyone.